Hello, this is Gray Hughes. I am making a video today on another case that was solved by Parabon Snapshot Nano Labs. Parabon has been an absolutely incredible tool for law enforcement, and there was an individual named Christine Franke, 25 years old, that was shot and killed in Audubon Park home in 2001. Okay, and at this time, this article right here is October 20th, 2016, and this is about the same time where the April Tinsley Parabon snapshot image, which uses phenotyping of DNA to come up with the likely look of the suspect. And as you'll see in this video right here, they determine that he's African American, and at least they have the look of the individual. So here we go.
15 years ago today, this UCF student was found murdered in her Orlando apartment. Police have no idea who killed Christine Franke, but they hope new technology will crack the case. Orlando police admit the murder case has gone cold.
They have no suspects and no witnesses who saw the killer that night.
But using DNA technology, scientists can show us what the murderer might look like. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is here. Mike, this is some fascinating stuff.
Matt, it really does sound like something out of a science fiction movie. Using DNA left behind at the crime scene, investigators have been able to put together this composite of the killer. It's called DNA phenotyping. Now, for the first time, the family of Christine Franke can see what the attacker might have looked like.
It's been a rough 15 years. We miss her every day.
For the family of Christine Franke, it's been agonizing not knowing who murdered the UCF student inside her Orlando apartment. But now DNA technology is revealing what that perpetrator might look like.
I feel like we have a little hope now, where before it was just going nowhere, and there is more hope.
Yeah.
Police say the killer left behind DNA at the crime scene, but so far investigators have been unable to match it to anyone.
It kind of defies the logic that a vile predator such as this person who would commit a crime like this can stay out of the DNA databank for 15 years.
So Orlando police submitted the DNA to a laboratory that analyzed it and identified some of the killer's physical traits. This is the result. Scientists are more than 99% confident the murderer has dark olive skin and likely has brown eyes and black hair, but probably no freckles. He may not look exactly like this rendering, but police are confident it could be a close resemblance.
Before we did anything on this, we made sure that the science behind it was sound, and when we're talking about that 90-something%, we'll take that.
Now, Franke's family hopes this new image will refresh some old memories.
There's got to be somebody who finds this face familiar and will step forth.
Now, although the technology is good, DNA cannot tell us the killer's age, whether he's tall or short, fat or skinny, or exactly what his hair looks like if he still has any. But at this point, that image is the best one that police have.
Wow.
That's incredible. And I'm curious, say someone recognizes that guy. They say, I know him from the TV. What do they do then? What happens?
Police at the first tip call Crime Line, 1-800-423-TIPS. Now, the police aren't going to just rush right out and arrest someone if they resemble that image, but they are going to check that person's DNA if this person rises to the level of being a person of interest. They will compare that DNA to the DNA found at the crime scene. If it matches, boom, they've got their killer.
It's a whole new world, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
And that's exactly right. I wouldn't want people to go, oh wow, I know somebody who looks just like that. These are pretty generic images that come from Parabon, but at least you have a general idea. Now, like the main reporter said there, that if it makes you think of somebody and it turns out that they're a viable suspect, then they'll check out the DNA. All right, so that video that you just saw was from October 2016, and this is November 5th, 2018, so just a little over 2 years later, they actually made an arrest in this case. Unbelievable.
Just in, Orlando police have made an arrest in the murder of a UCF student from 17 years ago, and we just got this video of the suspect's arrest. The case went cold months after Christine Franke was found dead in her apartment in 2001. News 6's Eric Von Anken is live at the Orlando Police headquarters tonight. And Eric, this all came down to plain old DNA.
Ginger, this was groundbreaking. This is only the 15th time ever that a police department in the entire country has solved a crime doing this. So they tell us they had this guy's DNA, right? But they kept checking the police databases. There was nothing in there. Finally, they checked a newly created public database. It's in South Florida, where you can send your own DNA in to check to see if maybe you got a brother or sister or mother or father out there that you don't know about.
Despite countless hours of investigations, Christine's killer still walked free, keeping his secret.
Orlando's newly appointed police chief gave the news this family has been waiting desperately and painfully to hear for 17 years, that the person who killed their loved one, Christine Franke, just 25 years old at the time, shot her in the head here in her Audubon Park apartment, has finally been caught.
I just want to say that I am so grateful that these gentlemen and everyone and ladies involved never gave up on my daughter's case and eventually solved it.
In 2014, I participated in an online Ancestry website where they provided me a match of my relatives based on those relatives who committed to the website also. And I thought to myself, how can I use this in the Christine Franke case?
The lead detective in the case, one of several who put in thousands of hours collectively over almost 2 decades, says DNA from a genealogy database is what cracked the case. Detectives say they had the killer's DNA from the crime scene. They say it belongs to this man, Benjamin Holmes, but until now couldn't match it.
So that's the individual. Let's see the Parabon snapshot image. So, you know, it doesn't look exactly like him or anything, but he's got, I don't know if they just randomly put in the receding hairline like that, but, you know, you can see that it doesn't look exactly like him. The skin tone's a little off too, but it gave them an idea, all right? So let's continue with the video.
To him, police databases didn't have Holmes's DNA, but a public database did have his family's DNA, detectives say. A database where people voluntarily send in their DNA to connect with long-lost relatives.
We went out, we interviewed family members. We received DNA samples to compare against the killer's DNA through kinship testing.
Eventually, detectives got a DNA sample from Holmes himself and say it matched. They tell us they had their killer. Holmes at the Orange County Jail tonight. They say that it doesn't appear he has any connection to the victim. They still don't know a motive at this point, although they do say some cash was taken from the apartment at the time, Ginger, but still, he's denying any involvement.
But that kinship testing was a game changer. Eric Von Anken reporting live. Thank you, Eric.
So that's a little bit confusing right there. Why would they not know what the motive is if they have his DNA? I would have thought that would have been from perhaps a rape. But maybe he left DNA behind in some other form. We just don't know. Maybe they got it from her fingernail, something like that. And it's just absolutely incredible. You can see right here, there's the Parabon snapshot image, and then he's right next to it right there. So it led to it. So Parabon originally was doing the phenotyping to come up with the image, but they branched off into the genealogical aspect of it, and there's an individual named Cece, I don't know what her last name is, but she is the one who did the East Area Rapist case, I believe the April Tinsley, and she is a genealogist. And those are actually going to be the key people that are going to solve a lot of these crimes. They are very skilled at looking up ancestry and putting together the tree when DNA matches up to other ancestors. She's able to link back to sort of the origin and go through the whole tree so that you have at least a general idea of what family this person came from. It's amazing. It weeds out millions and millions of people. So another case solved here with Parabon Nano Labs, originally doing the Parabon snapshot image. You can see Parabon up here in small writing. And they created the image in 2016, about the same time they created the April Tinsley image. And their new venture into genealogical research has done it again. If you listened to that video, you heard that this is the 15th time. So 15 barbarians have been taken off the street. All right, so until next time, everybody, be safe out there.